Okay, so my issue is that right now, fuck, hold on, give me a second. Like, it feels like Trump
Let me mute your
is,
stream. Let me see if I can mute it on YouTube.
yeah, sure. Like, okay,
I can't.
yeah,
Go ahead.
let me know. Okay, yeah. So it feels like Trump is right here, all right, and this is like the far right wing, okay, the far right, and then let's just say the far left is right here, okay.
Right.
Let's just say that is this is the the fucking representation of left to right, okay? Now let's just say
Right.
that this is the center. This is the true center, okay? And then
Mhm.
let's just say that around here is where I am. Okay, so I'm like left center. Okay, what it
Right.
feels like, is that right now the far right wing is over here, right? And then
Right.
I am over here. But if you take the center of that, you're taking the center right here. So you, in my
So you think
interpretation,
I'm in between the
you are right
center
here.
and the right?
Yeah, exactly. Because right now the scale is different, right? Because you're taking the center of the Trump far right versus my left center. So obviously you're going to
Right.
be in the center right. However, what it looks like for the proper far left is like Winter. And Winter is like over here. If you don't know who Winter is, don't worry about it. But like Winter
I
from
know
this
the place. I'm
yeah,
an
yeah.
avid Foodshops watcher.
Oh yeah, sure. So I guess the point is that like yeah, this is why you seem kind of center right to me. Does that make sense? I don't even know if we have a
Yeah.
disagreement in the first place. Yeah.
No, like I see what you're saying, and mathematically going through what I say and what I
Hmm.
post in chat, I can see why you would think that. But
Okay.
you're saying that I'm right wing center because I call him Asmon Papa. You do realize I'm in other people's chats saying, well, I don't call you Food Shop's mama, but you do realize I shit post
That
on
would be
other
really
people who
weird.
disagree.
But yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I disagree with other people that shit on you, but I'm also in their chat being like, hey, I'm a Food Shops watcher too. Just because I don't
Hmm.
like, just like I enjoy Asmongold before he became political, and I actually kind of hate that he became political because
Hmm.
he was a good content creator until he went, full on mask off or whatever you want to say. But I can enjoy his content and disagree with his takes, you know? Same thing with you. I enjoy your content. I don't agree with everything you say,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I do agree with some of the things you say. And I do find that your chat is one of those places where I can go shit post and then also have a serious conversation and, not feel like I'm being alienated for having a different opinion. Does that make sense?
Sure, that's fine, right? Because, well, the problem here is like everybody has some degree of agreement with everybody, right? Like even a far left
Right.
person agrees with some principles of a far right person, but that doesn't mean
Yeah.
that that far left person is going to be centrist, right? But you describe yourself as a centrist, but then, obviously you agree with principles on the left and on the right. To me, a better way
Right.
of measuring this kind of stuff isn't whether or not you agree or disagree with some principles on the left or right, but the
Right.
proportionality of it, right? The magnitude of it,
Right.
right? And what it
Well,
seems like to me is like again, it does seem like the proportion in which what you support in chat versus not in chat, it does seem like I don't know, like it does seem as though like yeah, you are more conservative leaning, right? Like yeah,
I don't believe so. Like for
okay.
example, one of my biggest stances is like I'm pro trans and I'm pro choice, right?
Hmm.
That is literally like the holy anti-grail of the rep, right? They wanna eradicate that, right? Like right
Yeah.
now I'm in Texas, and I don't know if you saw the story of the police officers looking for a woman that, she was about to die, so she had to like do a self abortion on herself, but
Hmm.
because she escaped Texas, Texas is using those speedometer cameras to track her down. So they're not only using the ones in Texas, but they're using the ones in the entire country, and they don't need a reason to do so. And I feel like women should be able to like not fear for their life, if they have to have an abortion and then they get denied the treatment. So now not only is the baby going to die, but also her. So in the Republicans' eyes, it's like you can't kill babies, but if you're going to die, that means your baby's also going to die. So then it's okay when both of you die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So
get what I get what you're saying, but the fact that you even bring this up as an example in the first place shows that your political compass is already incredibly warped, right? And I think this actually serves as a
well,
really good example for my what I drew on MS Paint, right? Because it shows that okay, it turns out persecuting people to the ends of the earth for an abortion is too extreme for you. Well, that's kind of a given in civilized countries, right? I hopefully we wouldn't be pursuing women like criminals, right? If they ever decide to get an abortion. But to you, it's too extreme, and I understand that. But in a normal civilized country in Europe or anywhere else, that shouldn't be an issue to the point where you're like really going crazy, right? Like, does that make
right,
sense?
and I understand that, but the sad
Yeah.
reality of things is the time what we live in, right? Like you're right. In a perfect world, this shouldn't happen, but it's the world that we live in, and like for me to agree with like, oh yeah, I agree with this just because it's like right wing or whatever. No, I do not agree. Like I honestly believe from the bottom of my heart, if you truly believe that politicians have your best interest at heart, left or right, like you're not really looking at the big picture. Like look at veterans, for example. Like we fought and we were promised that people would take care of us, right? After we came back from the war.
Hmm.
I'm wounded, right? So like I got
Hmm.
to retire early and shit. But
Yep.
I have many friends that were denied treatment. I had a friend who was suicidal and he went in to the BA and he pretty much threw himself in there and said like, "Hey, I can't be by my own. I need help." A week later, he was kicked out because the BA said that his claims, like his disability claims, weren't high enough to like pay for his treatment. So he had to pay out of pocket. And since he was broke, they were like, you know what? Shit out of luck. And that was during the Obama administration, right? So
Hmm.
like if left and right are willing to turn their backs on the people that fought for them, what it makes you think that they care about the regular civilians? Like you
Wait,
really
hold
think
on, hold
like
on, hold
left
on.
or right?
I gotta time out Schlobbers for spamming the chat. Give me a second. Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry for interrupting. Go. Yep.
No, you're good. So you see what I'm saying? Like that's where I stand on. I believe that neither left or right really care about you. Like they're just telling you what you want to hear in order to get your vote. Like look at all the like what like I know I've said this before and I was talking with Corey about this. Like you can tell me you're outraged by Trump's crimes, but then it's okay to turn a blind eye when the son of the president does it and gets pardoned for it. Like you can tell me you have principles when
Okay.
you're
Can
willing
we?
to turn a
Yeah.
blind
Let's.
eye.
Yeah. Sure. Hunter Biden is a different topic, but let's talk about the veterans part first. Okay. Do you think? Okay. So
Okay,
you said that Democrats and Republicans are the same, right? That's what you said.
equally bad, yes.
Okay. All
I
right. All
believe
right.
that.
Okay. So do you think that they treat veterans the same?
I think they both treat him equally shit.
Uh,
I
with
know
the same,
I know
but the
like
same.
like for example, I know during the Biden administration, he tried to do more, but still, a lot of veterans didn't get the care that they were promised. Like, it's one
Okay,
thing to
okay,
say, okay, I'm
that's
going to
okay,
take
that's
care
okay,
of you.
Okay, wait, hold on. So I have another question. All right. So
Yeah, go for it.
after that question, so recently Trump has fired 60,000 people from
Yeah,
Veterans
and I
Affairs. Now,
criticize that in his speech.
sure. Now, I have no doubt that you would agree that that's bad, right? Like, I'm not saying that you
Yeah,
are. However, do you think that Biden would also fire 60,000 people from Veterans Affairs?
no, but a lot of those people were not doing their job. But I don't agree with Trump firing them. I think that something should have been done. But you're right, Trump wouldn't have fired them.
No, they were
Still,
doing their
that wouldn't have
jobs.
helped veterans.
Hold
Veterans
on.
were still.
Hold on. The information that you have is incorrect. A lot of them were doing their jobs, and a lot of people who were fired or laid off um, could be testified for their directors. Like their directors could say, yeah, they have worked extremely hard in that department for many years at this point. And
No, that's not what I mean. Like,
a lot of people who
no,
work in
sorry, go
veteran
ahead.
affairs are also veterans. Like they are also people who has served like you, right? So the thing is um sure, you also agree that Biden wouldn't also be laying off like 60,000 veteran affairs personnel, right?
Right.
However, like I think that goes to illustrate how they're not the same, right? Because if you are laying off 60,000 people in which you're not actually going through in time to actually prove that they are doing a bad job, right? And to in order to vet who is actually doing a good job or bad job, 60,000, and you already say that your friend is having a lot of trouble trying to get benefits, right? I just don't see
Right.
how cutting out 60,000 people is a good thing for the department, right? And by the
Yeah,
way,
and
I just
I don't
wait,
see
hold on.
how that is a good
Hold
thing.
on real quick, real quick, real quick. And I just want to say real quick, okay? When you repeated the line, when you repeated the very specific line of how, oh, and they were found to not be doing their jobs, you realize that that is a Trump propaganda line, right? Like that is a
It's
right-wing
because
propaganda line.
you didn't let me finish. Like
Oh,
what I
that's
was
okay.
going with that is
Hold on, hold
I
on.
don't
Listen, I think it's fair because, I let you talk, so, but your turn. Go ahead. Yeah. Hmm.
okay. So the thing is that when I say they're not doing their jobs, it's like you realize I've been in the military since the Obama administration.
Okay.
We were getting our claims denied since then because people weren't doing their jobs. That's what I mean. I don't mean that they were like not just not working. Like their job is to help us, and they weren't doing that when they were working.
Okay. So
That's what I mean.
my question is this: how do you know? So what was the reason why
Because
your
shops,
buddy got cut? What
I
was the
live it.
specific reason? What was the specific reason that your
Because
buddy
okay,
got
so when
cut?
you retire from the military, you get these things called ratings. Depending
Mm-hmm.
on your rating disability, right,
Mm-hmm.
is how much you get when you get out and how much the military pays for your medical bills and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
because my friend wasn't high enough on his ratings, they were like, we can pay for this for you. You have to pay out of pocket, even though he was promised the treatment when he got out.
Okay. So my question to you is then, how would cutting out 60,000 people improve that situation? Because what that sounds like is that
I
that
just
sounds
said it
that
wouldn't.
right. This sounds like a policy issue, right? Like more than anything else. But you said that they weren't doing their jobs. But what it sounds like is
Yeah,
that
they
like
weren't helping the veterans. Like even if they still had their job, my friend would have still like got those denied. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't believe having people that have left values or right values is going to change anything. Everybody's looking out for themselves, shops. Like that's my point. I genuinely don't believe politicians have your best interest at heart. Like they do all these things behind our backs, and we find out years later. And people that agree with the right will try to do mental gymnastics to cover for them. And people that agree with the left will do mental gymnastics to justify why it was okay. That is my point. That's why I don't think that supporting a left or right is going to make a difference when if you're willing to turn a blind eye to your morals in order to achieve something, that tells me you're not worth siding with. Does that make sense?
hmm. But my issue here is that I don't think I'm doing any mental gymnastics whatsoever.
No, I'm not saying you.
What
I'm
part
just
of it is doing mental gymnastics?
like for example saying that like well the people were like so offended by Trump doing all these things, right, and they wanted to like him face jail time and all this other stuff, but people were like, oh well, it's okay for Biden to pardon his son because that's his son. It's like, no, he's guilty of the same crimes. Both should be scrutinized the same. Both should face the same repercussions. I think if Trump is guilty of his crimes, he should pay for it. If Hunter is
Okay.
guilty of his crimes,
Sure,
he should
sure.
pay for it. There
Okay.
should
All
not
right, all
be a
right, all
two-tier
right.
justice.
Yeah, okay. So uh are you're moving on to the Hunter Biden topic, right? Are we moving on from the VA stuff?
I'm
Because
giving you why I
so for the
stand on
VA,
it like it.
so the VA stuff, okay, I just want to say, all right, like if you can't see that firing 60,000, because your words contradict yourself, okay? Does that make sense? Because you
Right.
said specifically, oh, they are both equally as bad for veterans, right? Is that what you claimed?
Yes.
Yeah. And
They were not
meanwhile,
helping
you
veterans when they
condemn.
were in their job, and then when they got
Right,
fired,
right.
veterans got
Okay.
screwed over. It's
Okay,
the same
yeah.
thing.
And you also recognize, actually, sure. Sorry. I retract the part where you contradict yourself, okay? I'm just going to say you're unreasonable, okay? Because you also acknowledge that, yeah, because where's that meetings, okay? But like, let's just say that Trump, all right, let's just say that Trump actually did get rid of 60,000 people from Veterans Affairs, okay? And you also
right?
acknowledge that a Democrat wouldn't be doing the same thing. So would it not be like for a fact that a Democrat would objectively be better for Veteran Affairs than versus the Trump
No,
administration in
that is
that
my point.
regards?
It was not better jobs. The veterans were still not getting the care they needed when the Democrats had their 60,000 jobs. Is my point. It made no difference.
But you also
It's what I'm
acknowledge that
saying,
Biden acts.
and I
But you
acknowledge
also
it's wrong
hold
that
on, hold on,
people
hold
were
on,
kicked out
hold
of their
on, hold
jobs.
on,
Yeah, like
hold on, hold on. But you also acknowledge that at least Biden tried to improve veterans' lives, right? And I'm pretty sure when I looked up Biden's Wikipedia, I have also found like entries where Biden has in fact supported a lot of initiatives for veterans. 100%. And meanwhile, for Trump's like entry, it's like fucking firing 60,000 people from Veteran Affairs. Like, there's no conscience, in my opinion, that this is equal. I don't think this is equal, right?
okay, so because they're not equal in one thing, does that mean like my point is when I say they're both equally bad is like they both do bad things. I can side with one side saying
Okay,
the
who
other
would you
one is
vote for?
bad
Okay,
because they're
Kamala or
bad
Trump?
things.
Okay, who did you vote for? Kamala or Trump?
I don't vote. I didn't vote for it. When you said that people think that Trump is better than Kamala, they're lying. He's not.
Wait, who would you vote?
I genuinely
Who
don't
would you
believe
vote
he's
for?
better than Kamala, and I don't think I didn't vote. I don't vote at all, Chops. I don't think it makes a difference. I've said this before. I don't believe that the lesser of two evils is a good option.
Okay.
And I don't think that is going to change. And I'll give you an example. Like I said, I've been in the military since the first Obama administration. And we were getting screwed during the Obama administration. Like when I got out, like they straight up told me I lost hearing on my left earring due to an explosion. And they told me, oh yeah, by the way, we couldn't get the VA to agree to count that as a military disability. And I'm like, yeah, how else did I lose my fucking hearing? Like, but okay, you can argue that because if you argue your ratings and then you get your ratings redone, there's a chance that they look at something and be like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna take away this too. So you'd rather not take that chance to losing what you already got.
I
So I was getting screwed
understand.
over during the
I
Obama
under look,
administration,
look,
then
I
during the
understand.
Trump administration.
Sure, sure.
Sorry, there's a
Okay.
delay, so if I'm talking over you, I don't mean to.
Okay. Wait, why is there a delay? Are you watching
Because
my stream?
I'm looking at your stream and at the
Okay, stop.
Discord.
Stop looking
So
at my
like
stream. Just listen to my Discord. Just listen. I don't know why you're listening to my stream for the audio. What the
because you were
fuck?
teaching me the thingy with the MS Paint thingies. I don't mean to
Oh my.
talk over
Okay,
you. There's
stop.
a
Stop. Stop.
delay.
Okay, close out the stream. Close out. Just listen to my Discord.
Okay,
Oh my
okay,
god.
okay.
Okay, Jesus, I didn't know you were doing that entire time. Okay, what the fuck? Okay, all right.
You're good.
Um. Okay, so I just want to say, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Okay. So in my opinion, if you really cannot see the fact that Trump was so much worse for the veterans to the point where you're equivocating the two, then there's really nothing else I can say because you're like you're covering your eyes. Does that make sense? You're like
No,
covering your
I'm
eyes.
not
There's like it's
disagreeing. I'm
so
not
obvious.
disagreeing.
It's literally so
Hold on.
obvious like
Let's
how
take
big
it
the
over
difference
there.
are. You're just ignoring it for some reason. I don't know
Chops.
why.
I'm not
You
saying
know.
that. I'm saying they're both equally bad for veterans. Whether Trump, let's use this as an example, whether Trump screwed over 100 veterans and the left screwed over 25, you're still screwing veterans over. I don't think like you. I still see you as the guys that are screwing us over. I don't see you as like, okay, well, this guy only
Why?
gives me 5 inches
Why?
instead of 8 inches
Why?
thick,
The
and
problem the
you
problem
see
here
it
is
at
that
the end
you
of the day.
hold on. The problem here is that you haven't actually given me a good reason. You've given me anecdotal evidence, right? Because in my opinion, anecdotal evidence is not enough because anybody can make up anything, all right, from any kind of
And
personal
this is true.
experience,
I'm just a
right?
random guy on the
So,
internet.
and number
Like
two,
you shouldn't take everything I say at heart because
num
for all you know, I'm probably a girl with a voice
no,
changer, right? I get
it,
that, but at the same
it
time, like I'm not going to deny my experience. Like that is
okay.
what I live.
Okay,
Like
hold on, hold on, hold
you
on,
can
hold
tell
on,
me
hold
like
on,
one
hold
is
on,
better for
hold
good
on. Do you Why do you think I'm bringing up policy rather than anecdotal experience?
because policy it's a circumstantial evidence that you can actually prove, and what I'm telling you is just my word without like actual
Okay.
evidence that I
Okay.
can put up.
Policy isn't circumstantial evidence, okay? Policy
Yeah,
is
it's
direct
evidence.
evidence. It's not circumstantial, it's
Isn't
direct
that
evidence.
circumstantial evidence? Like undeniable evidence is not circumstantial evidence, or am I retarded?
No,
I
it's
think I'm
it's
retarded. Aren't
it's
Yeah.
like the actual
I
laws,
thought it
like the
was actual
legal
evidence.
stuff. Like,
Okay, yeah, okay. I thought it meant something else, but yeah, what I
okay,
meant to say is actual evidence. Yeah.
all right, yeah. Okay, all right. Um, okay. Can we move? Okay, so you want to talk about Hunter Biden? No.
Yeah, like the only thing I have to say about that is like people were so appalled by the crimes that Trump was accused of and that he got acquitted for or whatever, right? But when when Biden was accused of the same things, he went to court and all these women came forward and said that he was using his father's image to manipulate him into like doing things for him and he didn't have to pay them. He was doing the same thing, and the left is like, oh, well, it's okay that he pardoned him because it's his son. I'm like, I can agree with you on that. Like, you can't say it's wrong for one person to do it, but let the other person go because they agree with your policies. Like, both of them should have faced the law, and
You're
there
you're you're
shouldn't
you're
be
talking
your
you're talking about
system.
Hunter Biden, right? You're talking about Hunter Biden.
Yes, he was pardoned by his father, to the same administration that went after Trump for the same crimes. Do you see my point?
Okay, I have one question for you.
Yeah, go for it. No, I will not send nude shops.
Was was Hunter Biden ever the president of the United States?
No, he's the son of the president of the United States. He got pardoned by the president of the United States.
Okay, the fact that you're even drawing an equivalency between Hunter Biden and Donald Trump in this instance is part of the problem, isn't it? Like this is why I think you're more right-leaning. You're not centrist.
So for saying that both of them should have faced the law and both of them should have paid for their crimes is me being right wing biased.
This is 100% a right-wing talking point. Is the equivalency of Donald Trump and Hunter Biden. Yes.
So me saying that both of them are bad is me pro right wing. That makes no
Because
sense.
Hunter Biden was never the president. Like, what are you
But he got
talking
pardoned by the
about?
president. That's my point, Shots. You can't go after one guy for doing the same crimes that your son did and then be like, yeah, you know what? It's my son. I'm gonna forget him. Like that's not how it works. That is why I don't believe like politicians. Like if you're willing to turn a blind eye to your morals, no, I'm not going to side with you. Like I think both of you are not worth siding with. Does that make sense?
Yes, but okay, do you think that Joe Biden okay, what do you think is a better comparison to Donald Trump if we were to compare crimes?
What do you mean? Well, we're talking about that specific type of crime. He was
Do you
accused
okay,
of
okay,
like
okay,
doing
hold on. Hold on.
using
Do you think that it would be better to compare Joe Biden with the Donald Trump than versus Donald Trump versus Hunter Biden?
Well, I'm just giving you an example why I don't side with them. But no, like their policies are completely different. But they're both screwing the people over.
Okay.
Like I'm not going to side with people that openly, you know, screw others over and then be like, oh well, because you don't screw us over as much, we're okay with you. No.
Okay, who led an insurrection on January 6th?
What do you mean?
Okay,
The right
wait,
wing.
fuck. Wait, do you even think January 6th was an insurrection?
Yeah, people going into a
Okay, thank
building
God. Oh my God, thank God.
protesting.
Okay. All right, yes.
Yeah, do you really think I'm dumb and stupid? You
Has
you really
has
think I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh
has
yeah,
Joe
well,
Biden has
because
Joe Biden encouraged like election, like the fact that election was stolen to the point where people just start like burning down the Capitol building?
no, the only incident in the Capitol building was January 6th, and I disagree with that completely. I've been very open about this in chat. I've said if you were caught, destroying and vandalizing that place
Okay,
and
okay.
breaking
What
into
what
it
has okay,
illegally, you
what
should
what
go to
has
jail and have
what
a pardon.
sure. Okay, sure. What has Joe Biden did that was equivalent to January 6th?
What do you mean? Like
You said they're the
insurrecting?
same.
Like
You said that both sides are the same. So what has Joe Biden did that is
So
equivalent
now
to
they
January
have to do the
6th?
same actions in order to be equally evil. You do realize
No, of
both
the
can be
same
equally evil
magnitude. I'm
without doing.
talking about the same magnitude. I'm not even talking about the same action. I'm talking about the same magnitude.
But I never said that Joe Biden did anything similar to Donald Trump when it came to the January 6th. That makes no sense. I never said that.
So how are they equally as bad again?
Because they're both, screwing the people over. That's my point. It doesn't matter if one screws them over in one way and the other one screws them in the other way. It doesn't matter if, like, okay, I'm gonna give you this dick sideways. Oh, I'm gonna give you this dick from the back. You're still getting dick in the end. It doesn't matter which position they're giving it to you. It's still dick at the end of the day.
Okay. You know for a fact that's not even like your analogy doesn't even work. You realize that, right? Like getting dick from the front versus in the back isn't even the same. But okay. Like you realize
It's
that
still
didn't
dick
even
at
work
the end of the
either.
day. What do you mean? Are you still not getting dicked by the government?
Okay, who made the who caused the 10% international tariffs to happen? Who tariffed like a fucking island full of penguins? Go. Joe Biden or Trump?
I literally, like, you're trying to use Trump's things against me, like I support
No,
those things.
no,
I
all
clearly
I
said I
want. No,
don't.
Dio. All I want, literally all I want is you to name one equivalent thing in magnitude or symbolism of the same thing that Joe Biden has did to Trump in terms of January 6th or fuck it, or any one of Trump's crimes, okay? Or any one of Trump's crimes, okay? You can't even name one and you're equivocating the two?
Wait, what do you mean? You want me to give you an example that is equal to January 6th? So, like, them breaking the law and breaking into a Capitol building. Like, the only thing I can think of like that was lying about Corona and lying about the vaccine. That is one of, like, the biggest, screw.
I can't stand it. No, okay, don't talk anymore about the corona. Okay, oh my god, you just triggered me so hard. Okay, stop. Don't stop talking about that. Okay, hold on.
So
Hold
having
on.
opinions, like, I could.
Hold
So
on.
they did not lie about it.
Hold on.
They had an entire
Is
congressional hearing about this.
I'm trying to think about this. Hold
They
on.
lied to the people, and it's true.
Do you think that there is delicious Mexican food?
Absolutely, I am Mexican.
Do you think that
I
there
could
is
throw down in the
delicious
kitchen.
I don't care. Do you think that there is delicious Chinese food?
Absolutely.
Do you think from a rating of 1 to 10 that delicious Mexican food can be equal to delicious Chinese food?
It depends on the dish.
Okay, yeah, but it can still happen, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So why the hell are you not able to give an example of the same magnitude or the same symbolism or the same way or
When
form
I
of
tried,
a
you said
bad
you were
thing that Joe
triggered.
Biden has done to any one of Donald Trump's actions at
When I tried,
all?
you said you were triggered. I tried,
And,
and
and
you're
by the
like,
way,
"I'm triggered. Shut up. Don't talk
and
about
by the
it."
way, I just want to say this, okay? I just want to say this. Even if you're trying to compare pardons, they're not the same, are they? Are they right? Because when Joe Biden pardoned Hunter Biden, right? Donald Trump was getting paid off for his pardons. They're not even the same. Was
And
Hunter
I
Biden
didn't.
paying?
I didn't say it's his son. What is he gonna do? Make his son pay?
You realize Joe
That is a
Biden
huge
you
bias. You
realize
realize
you
that, right? Like, there is a
sure, sure, but you
two-step
realize
distinction.
Joe Biden pardoned
Come on.
more than just his son, right? I'm
Yes,
pretty
he
sure he
pardoned Fauci
pardoned
after he lied, and he
the
said that
people
people
that
should be forced to
okay.
have the vaccine against their will, even if the vaccine would kill them.
Wait, okay, sorry.
They
Repeat
used
the
his
vaccine
own
point.
words
Just
against
okay.
him in the
Okay,
congressional hearing.
you want to move to the vaccine point. Okay, so what have they done that was us bad? Okay, go.
They hid the information about the corona when it first came out. They didn't want people to know.
Okay,
They
okay,
didn't
what
give people
year?
time to prepare.
What year did COVID come out?
It started in 2019 when it got leaked from
Okay,
the
who was
Wuhan lab report.
president in 2019?
Trump was still president, but then freaking Biden had 4 years to do something about it. He didn't do anything. He still hid it. That's what I'm telling you, Shubs. You just keep proving my point. Both are equally bad. Both of them were hiding the information, and you keep saying that I'm agreeing with one or the other. You keep trying to bring Trump policies to make it seem like, see, you agree with him. You agree with him, Dio. No, I do not.
No,
I
no,
despise
no,
both.
Dio, no, Dio, no, Dio. I specifically asked you something Trump specifically did, but then you brought up. Uh, I'm sorry, sorry.
No, you
Asked you.
asked me
No, no,
something
hold on.
Biden
Misspeak,
did
misspeak, misspeak,
equivalent
misspeak,
to
misspeak,
Trump, and
misspeak,
I'm giving
misspeak,
you an example.
misspeak. Stop, misspeak. The question that I asked you was bring up something specifically Biden did that was equivalent to one of Trump's actions, and you mentioned another one of Trump's actions. So I don't even know what the fuck you're
You
talking.
said,
That's Trump administration when coronavirus came out.
yeah, when it started, but then when Biden took over, he still hid the information. He didn't tell people what was happening. And then he forced people to have the vaccine. If not, they would get fired. Only for the vaccine to be like the vaccine didn't even do anything. People can still get corona vaccine or not.
Okay, I have a question. Who is the
Yeah, go
one?
for it.
Who is the person behind Operation Warp Speed?
Wait, what?
Who is the person behind Operation Warp Speed? One of the most biggest rollout of vaccines, all right, for coronavirus. Who was behind Operation Warp Speed?
Is it wasn't that Pfizer? Or am I
Who?
misspeaking?
Okay, who is the president? Who is the governmental? Who is the governmental authority who was trying to push
Yeah,
out
wasn't it
Operation
the
Warp
right?
Speed?
Yeah, it was the right, wasn't it?
Yes, it was
It was
Donald Trump. It was
there
Donald
was
Trump.
HSS.
Trump basically took credit for Operation Warp Speed, and rightfully so, right?
Okay, I'm not saying that Trump is good. I'm clearly saying both are bad. No, but nobody had the good
No,
response.
but the point is that you can't think of a single thing Biden has specifically done that is the same thing in magnitude as Trump.
So
Yes,
if
every single
both
time.
did it, if
Yeah,
both did
I
it,
mean,
it counts that
technically,
Biden did it. So okay,
technically,
so if both,
whenever.
okay, let me give you
Okay,
an example. If
yeah.
both eat pussy, but because okay, Trump sucked a dick during January 6th. Okay, let's use that as an example. He sucked a huge dick, right? But then he went and ate pussy, and then he eats pussy as a result with Biden. So both ate pussy, but because Trump ate pussy first, Biden should be okay to not be criticized for it.
Nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? What? Okay,
They're both
what?
responsible for the
What
same
the?
thing, is what I'm
Why do you
trying to
keep on
say.
going to these
Because
weird
one did
ass
it first and
examples?
the other one did
There,
it again,
Dio,
disqualifies him for
Dio,
being just
Dio,
as bad.
Dio. There are plenty of awesome, good, real world examples. You don't have to go to these weird, like eating pussy or taking a dick in the ass examples. Okay, there's plenty of real world. Okay, repeat the pussy point. Maybe you're actually making a good point. Who knows?
Okay,
Repeat the
Biden
pussy
ate
point.
Chinese
Yeah.
food, right? Let's use the
Sorry,
Chinese. Let's
guys.
use the Chinese point. Let's use the Chinese food point. He ate Chinese food, right? And then he went and ate Mexican food, right? And then Biden eats Mexican food. But because Trump ate Mexican food before Biden, Biden eating Mexican food has no effect on the world. They both ate Mexican food. What I'm trying to say is both had the same response to the coronavirus. Both were bad for the public. That does not mean like just because Trump did it first, oh, okay, well, Biden did it after. It's not as bad. No, they both did it.
No, that's not an apt analogy. I'll explain why. Okay. It's as if Biden fucking built, like, a fucking improved the kitchen, refurnished the kitchen, and then Trump burned down the kitchen. That's literally the correct analogy there, okay? Not this eating food or
How did
whatever
he
the
burn
fuck.
down the kitchen if Trump was in charge first?
Okay, you don't get what I'm talking about. But okay. Like, literally, I'm also
Trump had a
talking
horrible
about.
response to
I'm
Corona.
also talking
Biden
about
took
Biden
over
to
and he
Trump,
had
am
the
I
same
not?
horrible
I'm
response
also
to it.
talking about Biden to Trump, am I not?
Yes, they're both bad in their response to Corona. That's my point. You keep telling me to bring something that is equally as bad. They're both equally as bad in their response to Corona. What else do you want?
I'm pretty sure the question that I asked you, okay, and I'm tired of repeating this, by the way, okay? The question I asked you specifically was something as bad as January 6th or
How
any
many
one of
people died
Trump's
during January 6th?
crimes.
How many people died during January 6th, Chops? I answered your questions, answer my question. How many people did die during the
Five
January 6th riot?
5 to 20,
Okay,
depending on who you
how many
ask.
people died as a direct response of the negligence of the government during the during the corona pandemic?
Millions of people.
Okay, so 5 people dying and millions of people dying is not equally as bad. You're right, it's
Okay.
worse.
Do you think that bad things or bad actions are only measured by how many people are killed?
Yes,
Wrong.
absolutely.
That is so incorrect. Holy shit.
Wait,
Wait.
what?
Hold
Okay,
on. Hold on.
can
Why?
I
Okay.
can I
What? Hold
give
on.
my
Hold on.
take on the vaccines?
Wait, real quick, real
Wait,
quick, real quick.
this is
Wait,
not
hold on, hold
me.
on. I want
This
to
is
finish
not,
just one thought. Hold on. I want to finish just one thought, okay? I just want to say the reason why we fixate on the Bosnian genocide so much, even though like the people who died, is like way less than any other like single battle or something. Like I'm pretty sure the people who died during the Bosnian genocide was like less than the 20,000 German Nazi civilians that died during the Dresden bombings. And the reason why we fixate on the Bosnian genocide so much is because the intentionality and the planning out of the Bosnian genocide was so malicious and evil. Just like how planning out the January 6th and everything that went down was so malicious and evil. Yes, even though 5 people technically died, even though 5 to 20 people technically died compared to coronavirus, the reason why that
okay,
was
so
so
you're
fixated so
saying
much
that
was because the very action of it, the very planning of it, the very meticulous, like everything about it was just way worse in terms of like the purpose, the motivations behind it, right? Does that make sense? Sometimes in terms of
So
events,
you're
yes,
really
preliminary
I can't
things
agree.
and planning is worse. Go ahead. Sorry, Seth wants to
you're
speak. Go
giving
ahead.
more
Yeah.
value to
Yeah.
shops right now. You're giving more value to the qualitative things about the problem to the quantitative, because now you're arguing that the intent uh, of the problem is more adds more to it being bad than the physical effects of that. So if they were planning to do something like that, yes, it is bad. But if they kill a million persons in that, I mean, it is equally bad. So intent or the qualitative aspect of it is not like it doesn't have more value about it. And on the vaccines, you were talking about what Trump did with the vaccines. Yeah, he started, but the project at that time was about uh, going fast with the development of the vaccine. And what Biden did was start taking that, but he started taking the vaccines and he started giving it to every single people in the country. Okay, so yes, Trump developed the vaccine and he made uh, he speeded the process, but Biden was the one who closed the economy and was trying to get the vaccine on every single one. So it's not like the same thing. So
Oh,
Wait, is
okay.
that
Wait, hold on.
doctor?
I'm trying to understand what you just said. Hold on. Let me think. Um.
okay, the operation Trump did with the vaccine was just for accelerating the process of the vaccine development. Then Biden came in and he started giving the vaccine to every single person in the country, children, women, old people, every single one. So it's two separate things. Trump made the vaccine and Biden was the one who distributed. Okay. And now, about the other point, you
I
are
don't think
giving more
I don't
value
even
to
think that's true. Wait, hold
one
on, hold on,
aspect
hold
of
on,
it
hold on, hold
to
on. I
the
don't even
other.
think that's true. I don't even think that's true. Right? Didn't the
No,
rollout
yeah, that's
happen when
true.
Trump was still in office?
I was there. I
Oh
was
my
working
god.
for AstraZeneca, and I
Yeah.
was working.
Okay, hold on.
uh,
I'll Google it. Nah, I don't trust you. Hold on. Let me see. Did
the
vaccine
implementation
rollout
of vaccination
happen
for every
under
single one.
Trump for Operation Warp Speed? Dude, you're lying. You're just lying. Why? Why do you lie?
Can you
Okay, hold
just
on.
read it out?
Hold on,
Can you
hold on,
just
hold on, hold
can
on,
you
hold on,
just
hold on.
start
Hold
reading
on.
out?
Let me just read this. Let me just read this. Yes, the initial COVID
Yeah.
19 vaccine rollout in the United States began under the Trump administration's Operation Warp Speed initiative. Yes, it began under the Trump administration. Why are you lying? Why are you attributing
No,
everything that you dislike about Trump to Biden?
You,
What the fuck is wrong with you? Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
we're not tag
what's
teaming
what's
shop.
wrong
Stop
with
it.
you? The initial approach with the vaccine was giving it to the population who was more exposed to COVID or who were likely to die from COVID. So it is different. we started giving it to all people and to people with disease, not to children.
And why
It
is that
was a
relevant?
different
And why
approach.
is that relevant?
Okay,
I just want to, I just want to remind
because the
everyone.
whole
Hold on, hold
problem
on.
with the vaccine
Wait, hold
was
on.
when
Hold
they
on.
started giving it to every single one in the country.
Hold on, hold on. I don't even know why that's relevant because remember, do you remember what my original question was?
Yes,
Can
it
you
is
repeat my
relevant
original
because you
question back
use
to
it.
me?
Name something equally as bad
As
as
January
January
6th
6th.
or any one of Trump's crimes. Yes, that's correct. So how
Yes,
does the
helping the
vaccine
economy,
rolling out to the
enforcing every single
elderly
one in the
have
country.
anything to do with naming something that was just as bad? Because as far as
Because
I'm
many people
concerned, the
died as a
rolling.
Because
result for that.
Trump
Many
was the
people's
one who
health
started
worsened as
giving
a
it to
result.
the elderly. Okay,
What?
it wasn't Biden. The first the first approach with the vaccine was fitting the development and then start giving it to the people who were with disease or were older people, and that was on Trump. And then Biden came in and he started giving it to every single one. Okay,
Okay.
Yes,
that's the
So
Biden
difference.
what you're
administration
saying?
forced the
Hold on,
But the
vaccines on
problem
hold
everyone.
on,
came in
hold
with
on,
Biden.
hold on, hold
The
on, hold
problem
on, hold
came
on,
in with Biden.
hold on. So you're saying, so what you're specifically saying is that Operation Warp Speed began under Trump, but then Biden's the one that continued most of it, right?
Yes, because the policy and the vaccination changed it with Biden.
Okay, you realize that even if I grant you that, that's not an answer to my question.
How people
Yes, it is
dying
because the whole
because
problem
of
with Corona
forced
were
vaccine.
under the Biden approach, not Trump's one.
So forcing a vaccine on people and causing them to die or causing them to have permanent disabilities as a result of a vaccine that was the first batch is not as bad.
Are you talking about the heart problem?
Not just that, many people lost mobility. Many people have like breathing problems now as a result, which is ironically because the corona is supposed.
Okay.
I mean, the vaccine was supposed to protect you from the corona, which is a breathing
Okay.
disease.
Well, why are you saying this when Trump was the one that started Operation Warp Speed? That's number
Because
Because the
one.
Biden
operation was
continued
given
it.
to the
He could have stopped it,
elder
and he continued
people.
it.
Wait,
There
but
is no
Trump was the
point on
one that
giving the
started
vaccine
it.
to
What are
every
you
single
talking
people.
But
about?
Biden
Uh,
continued
you
it. Biden continued
How
understand
it. He
is
could have stopped it, and he
how is
didn't.
continuing? Okay, how's continuing
okay.
Operation Warp
Okay,
Speed worse than starting it?
let me
What?
explain it. Let me explain it to you. Okay, when you are approaching a problem with like a pandemic, you start vaccinating the people who is more likely to die because of the disease, and what that was the initial approach that Trump did. Okay, that's the right approach to a contingency like that. Okay, and then Biden started giving the vaccine to every single one in the country. That's the fucking problem.
Wait, so Babe sent me something. Hold on. Can I open this? Let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna open what she sent me. Hopefully, it's not some weird shit.
Loki,
Okay.
Foods, they are speaking about the COVID
The
response
Trump
under Biden.
administration
Yes, I
planned to
know,
use the
Loki.
vaccine.
Yes. Yeah. I understand what their argument is, okay? Jesus.
I have to sign up to read this, Babe. I'm not going to sign up to. I'll send it to Shops. Maybe she can open it without having to sign up.
No. I don't have access to, if you're talking about like research articles and such. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, like, okay, Shops, like, I don't want to keep this going because we're not gonna go anywhere. Like, I just want to let you know, like, I am not a pro wing or pro. Like, I don't agree with their policies. Whether you believe they're equally bad or not, I like. My point is, I don't agree with either or.
If
I will
anything,
continue.
hold on. You can believe what you want. That's fine. You can believe what you want, but I guess, in my opinion, this conversation has cemented my beliefs, cemented them that you are
So
right
you
wing.
you
Yeah, you and Cess are right
you
wing.
believe
Yeah.
I'm right wing, even though I've criticized Trump for his crimes and for
No,
his lack of action.
I don't care about how you define yourself. I literally do not care how you define yourself. But to me, at the very least, I define you as right wing. Okay, that's it.
I mean, you can define me as whatever you want. It does not mean I'm that. Like if I was right
That's
wing,
okay.
I would not.
Then we'll just disagree on it. But you're absolutely right wing.
That is
Every
completely fine, but I just wanted the
every
opportunity
point.
to.
Listen. It does not help. It does not help when every single point that you and Cess have brought up in this conversation / debate is a right wing talking point. Every single one of them is a right wing talking point. Every single one. It like you
So
haven't
so
missed
Not a
one.
so
right.
Not a
It
single
is
one you
not a
guys
right wing
missed was
talking
like
point.
not a
It's the
right wing
kind of
talking
problem
point.
we are debating right now
but
on the health science
shops.
side of it. I mean, it's not a right wing talking point. Even for the World Health Organization, it was a
Cess,
bad approach. Okay,
Cess,
they
Cess,
are even
Cess,
right now they are even debating about it. Okay, it's not a right wing talking point. It's just a
Cess.
bad
Look, so
policy
shops.
about
Doctor
What you
says,
health.
see as
Doctor says, Doctor says, you literally said that the rollout happened under Biden.
I said, uh, you can rewind on the screen and you can re-hear what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yes, it started under Trump and then Biden expanded it
But you
and
didn't
started giving
clarify
the
that it
vaccine to
started under
every
Trump.
single one.
Hold
And
on, hold on.
that's
You
not
didn't
how
clarify.
you do
Hold on.
it.
You didn't
It's
clarify
not
that it
even the
started under
process.
Trump. You didn't clarify that
he
it started
did.
under
Yes,
Trump, though.
He
You
did.
did
I,
He
not.
said
I,
You
it
did
I
not.
started
did.
and Biden
You
continued
did
it.
not. Nope.
I
You did
did. You
not.
can rewind the
You can go
Clip
screen.
back
it.
and
Clip
see
it. You
it.
Yeah,
clip.
you
Clip it
can.
then.
I
Clip it
did.
then. All right. Clip it then. All right. I'm not gonna put
Yeah,
that
I
on
will
you.
clip it.
Okay. I'm just gonna make a claim. That's it. Fuck it.
Okay,
Like.
shops. This is my closing
I'm not
Okay,
statement, and
responsible
then
for
I'm
your
gonna be.
evidence.
Okay, shops. Can I just have my closing statement, and then
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Go
we'll
ahead.
end it?
Yeah.
well, after he
So,
does his closing statement, goodbye.
bye, docs. Was nice hearing you. Okay, shops.
Mhm.
Look, you believe I'm right wing. That is completely fine. You can believe whatever you want.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, I don't support right wing views. I do not agree with them, and I've been part of a
Sorry. Keep
system that,
going.
to both of the administrations, I've been screwed over by Democrats and Republicans. So I will continue to see them as bad, not just for veterans, but for the people. And that being said, like I don't hate you. I still enjoy your content. I will continue to watch your content, and I thank you for allowing me to at least double down on what I believe in, and but I will continue to hate both on the left and the right, and I will continue to be in your chat. Thank you for giving me the chance to retort, even though I wasn't able to convince you. I still stand on the fact that I hate both the left and the right, and that's it.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, bye, chat. Wait, how do I close this? I don't even know how to use fucking Discord. I'm a boomer.
Dude,
Shops, what do I do?
you realize this is why I think you're pushing 50, right? You were listening
I'm
to the stream
33.
to debate with me.
I was debating because you came out and said I was right wing, and I'm like, excuse me, no, I'm not. I like talk. So
Okay. Alright, I had to kick him. Dude. Bro. Bro, every single one, every single thing that they have stated was a right-wing talking point. Every single one. It's just like, what? How am I supposed to think that you're not a right-winger? Okay, whatever, man. I forget about it. Average food shop viewers? No, like I'm pretty sure Cess and Dio are literally the only two that are like this. Okay. Yeah. Not that that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying this is not the average food shop viewer. Okay. Okay. Also, like I can't believe I had to like correct them as well. Like fuck. Like fuck. Like the fact that who is this? Hello?
Oh, me. I
Yeah,
thought
go
I was
ahead.
clicking away from him. My bad.
Dude, where were you?
Uh,
But you realize both of them were Mexican, right?
yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
making you
Well,
look
I
bad.
was I was aware of Dr. Sus being Mexican and not a. I don't know who the other person was. Theo,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, they're both
Well,
Mexican.
I
Yeah.
was taking a shower, so I couldn't really jump in. So,
Mhm.
question, just a quick question. What, what even happened there? Like, what was the recap? If you could say like a 2
What?
minutes or 1
Just
minute.
rewind the stream. Just rewind the stream and just listen to the whole debate
No,
again. Yeah.
well, okay. So I saw what will happen at the start. I just wanted to know what your understanding of it was. Like,
Oh, well,
was your argument this is what is bad or equally bad, or was his argument like they're equally bad? I'm lost on that. It didn't seem coherent enough.
the argument was equally bad, all right? But I think he changed the argument at the end to, oh, they're just both bad, which means nothing, right? Because the entire point is that whether or not they're equally bad, right?
Right. So I'm guessing you don't think they're equally bad, right?
No, dude. Honestly,
Okay.
because depending on like what mood I'm in, you can even say that I think that both are bad sometimes, right? Like if you were to even ask me about that, like if a Democratic politician stole one of my fucking favorite pencils or favorite pens, all right, then yeah, of course I'm gonna say, yeah, you know what? I'm feeling the Democrats are kind of bad today, okay? Because this one Democratic politician stole one of my pens, okay? But obviously that's not the same as like Republicans not having a healthcare plan and then threatening to defund Medicare, right? Obviously not. These are not the fucking same, obviously, right? Like, fuck.
Oh yeah,
You
absolutely
know?
not. So, uh, do you ever ask if they had like a criteria for what they think is bad? Like it sounded to me like they were trying to
Yeah, which
make
is
an argument
which
that
is
didn't
no,
get
hold
there.
on, hold on. Yeah, this is why I was asking the magnitude question, right? This is why I'm asking, hey, by the way, can you name one thing that was equally as bad as January 6th or any of the crimes that Donald Trump was convicted of, right? And they couldn't come up with one. That's it. They couldn't come up with one.
Yeah, well, I mean, you didn't
Yeah.
even have to like go super deep on it. I was just confused. Like, if you're going to say
Ask
somebody
them.
is like,
Ask them, okay? I don't know why you're asking me, okay? Ask them, okay? I'm as confused as you are,
oh yeah,
okay? That's it.
how about I ask you this? When you're trying to define if a president is doing well,
Mhm.
are you looking at their leadership? Are you looking at their policy, crisis management, finances, like economic performance, like international relationships, like, or is it like everything? And just give like an overall
Everything.
average.
Like, I'm guessing
Okay.
everything. Yeah, I'm guessing everything, yeah.
Okay. So maybe this is me. Like I don't necessarily look at everything, but that's more because I do finances, so I'm more familiar with that field. So like if you were to ask me, I would say Biden did better than Trump, at least so far in the economy.
Okay. I mean, don't tell
Um,
me, right? Tell them. Like, fuck it. Like, yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know about the whole
You're
vaccine
preaching to
thing
the
or
choir
whatnot.
here, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I think with you and me, I agree. I just came in here to express. I'm really sorry that sounded really frustrating because it sounded like you were trying to ask
Wait, what?
questions, but
Okay,
there was
you don't need to show. Okay, stop. I don't need sympathy. It's fine. Okay,
oh,
like,
okay.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Well, see ya. Night ring later.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.
So I sound Mexican. I think Dr. Says has the most Mexican accent out of all the Mexicans. All right. This is why sometimes I have a little bit of trouble, okay? Nothing racist, okay? I'm just not good at, hearing accents or interpreting what people are saying through accents. I'm not good at it. Foodshops, you're tweaking? Oh. Is the assumption that if Foods points out Trump is worse than Biden, then they'll automatically go to Dem's side? He doesn't sound Mexican at all. What are you talking about? What? No, he does. What? He has a really thick accent.